Good evening, everybody. Hope that you are very well, and welcome to this evening's Contenders live stream, where I've got a really interesting one for you all this evening. I truly believe that this is going to be up there with like one of the best streams in terms of your viewpoint of the market and how it's going to have changed by the end of tonight's live stream. I truly believe you will view the markets in a totally different way for the better. So this is a really important live stream. It's not actually so much, well, it's not focused on the technical analysis per se, but it's focused on how we actually come to trade well. What's the thought processes, and how do we reach the stage of actually making a trading strategy? Okay, so that's what we're going to be covering in tonight's live stream, and it is massively important, this one more so than any others, that you turn off all the distractions around you. You know, turn off the Bitcoin chart, turn off the altcoin charts, turn off YouTube, turn off everything else, and just concentrate on this live stream. Make some notes. Should you have any questions, you know, save them till the end of the live stream. Again, all the questions that you should have should be directly related to this stream, not any random sort of off-topic questions. But directly related to the stream. We'll be more than happy to take that towards the end of the stream tonight. So I hope that you're doing all very well. I've obviously had some really nice trades over the past week on Bitcoin, and the altcoins alike, to be fair. The altcoins have done pretty well as well. And now we're going to just give our focus to the stream, not worry so much about Bitcoin. I'll cover, I'm sure, Bitcoin towards the end of the stream for you all. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoy, really. So as always, the disclaimer, I'm sure you've all read this one by now. If you haven't, you can pause and make sure you understand there's obviously no financial advice. So in tonight's live stream, what I want to be going over is chart of the week, but I think I might end with this. I think I'm going to approach this in a slightly different way and end with chart of the week. Well, let me just make sure everyone can actually hear this okay. Everything looks good. Sound okay. Thank you, Technic. I just had that feeling just then. I better check. Oh yeah, so chart of the week. Probably going to end with it this time, okay? I think it makes slightly more sense to end with that. Then I want to go over like the psychology. So this is like a mixture of things. It's like the psychology, getting to the strategy, and just how you approach trading. This is probably like the part 3 and probably the last part I'm going to do on this for a very long time. But that's what we're going to be going over as the main bread and butter of tonight's stream. And then obviously ending with the questions. So that's what we got planned for tonight. I will probably go over Bitcoin towards the end. Obviously it's currently at the VWAP resistance, so it's nothing like major at the moment, but the thing that you need to be aware of, obviously, just so we just quickly cover this, you obviously just taken this last high, you're up at the VWAP resistance, so that's the resistance you're at the moment. But we'll go over this in a bit more depth towards the end of the stream. My stream tonight is actually really influenced and inspired almost by Mark Douglas. So I've taken a lot of key points from Mark Douglas. So like, he's a trader. I totally all recommend to you. Obviously he's dead now, unfortunately, but like he still has trading books and material, and so I've taken a lot of inspiration from him, and he's a trader that I really admire and think you know, was one of the best. So yeah, I've taken a lot of influence from him in tonight's stream as well. I do recommend that you know, admire him too, I suppose. But yeah, to begin then, trading psychology, that's what we're going to be going over today. So these are the main points I want to go over. I want to go over working out that trading strategy. So for example, we at Chart Champions are taking a lot of you know, Fibonacci work. We really like the Fibonacci, really like the harmonic, and obviously just the I suppose, what's the right word for this, the approach of trading a ranging market. Okay, we are some of the best range traders, I believe, maybe in the world. Trading ranges is an absolute joy, and this is obviously a strategy that we have pretty well developed in terms of when we come down to the lows. We're obviously looking at our volume, our delta. You know, we can start adding CVD divergences. Obviously we can trade everything really, but you know, basically trading strategy is important. Understand and accept the risk on every trade that we take. This is the next section that we'll be looking at. And then we're going to be going over how to stick to the plan and remove the emotions. And the last part that I've put in here is I've put the title, I have not listed it on this screen, but I've listed the title as Secrets to Trading. So what are some of the secrets, quote unquote secrets, that actually separate the good from the excellent. Okay, I truly feel this is a massively important stream for you all. So let's begin. So the first over here, I've started with do you. So these are questions you can ask yourself. So do you second guess yourself when entering trades? Do you have fear during the trade? Or do you not stick to your original plan of the trade? I suppose a fourth one that I could add in here potentially is, do you even have a plan? do you even have a plan when you're entering the trades? Or are you buying as prices going up, thinking I got to buy because it's going to keep going and I'm going to miss out? Or do you end up, prices going down and you're just running into shorts at the low of the move, thinking, oh God, it's going to crash and I'm not in a short, So that could be the fourth thing. Like, do you actually have a strategy that you're trading off of? Surprisingly enough, a lot of people don't. And then you start to think, oh, it's actually not that surprising that 95% of traders lose money when they don't even have the plans. Obviously, I like to think that a lot of people here, you've taken the first step of acknowledging there's a problem. You've taken that first step of joining, the contender or champions section where you've started to learn and you've put in that initial effort, which is obviously a great first step. So moving here, what I want to start with here is the main section of accepting and so understanding and then actually accepting the risk. So what do we mean by this? So what I'm saying is people accept they can lose, but they do not accept the risk. So I think when everybody starts trading, everybody accepts, oh yeah, I can lose this trade. Absolutely. I can lose this trade, but they don't actually accept the risk of losing the trade. And I'm going to expand upon this in a second. There's a big difference between the understanding of the risk. Yeah, you can lose, but do you actually accept that you can take that trade? Or once you enter that trade, are you starting to feel, oh my God, I shouldn't have entered that trade? You obviously are too scared to lose the money that you've placed on it. For example, you take a long trade with a stop loss and set a take profit. Each downward move causes fear, and I'm going to expand upon this in the next picture. So let's say, for example, price has moved up here. So if we enter a long position at resistance, so we got a move up, and this was literally yesterday on the Bitcoin chart. I love how this example's ended, by the way. It's more than I could have asked for. We got a move up yesterday on Bitcoin, and we spent a little bit of time at the highs. So what do you know? A lot of people, they're going to be FOMOing into the longs up at the high, unfortunately. But then what happens here? They at the time, there's been a big move to the upside. There's been a bit of consolidation. They might be thinking a bull flag. They take their long position. Okay. And then there is a clear market structure change. So you see, after we've taken that high, we've then put in a low, put in a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And we're all the way back to the start of the pump. Okay. There is a clear market structure change, but you hold on to the long. Why are we holding on to the long? What's the emotions that we're feeling on each of these ticks? So this was literally yesterday on Bitcoin. There was a move up to the high of the range, around that $38,000 level. And let's just say, for example, you've taken a long. I'm sure everybody's been in this situation where you take a long in a bad place, and the market actually starts to go down. And maybe you would have thought to yourself, I'm going to get out if it goes below this point. But then price goes below the point and it starts to tick up again. And what you're going to start saying to yourself is, although you've actually said to yourself, I'm going to close if price goes below this wick. Let's say we enter the market here. We say to ourselves, I'm going to close the trade if it goes below here. And then price goes below the level, but really quickly back above. And then you say to yourself, well, you know what? Maybe we've seen a swing failure pattern of the low. I'm not going to close the long yet. And then minutes later, you see price go down once more. And you say to yourself, well, I might close. But then you see the green tick. And then price goes down again. You're starting to feel, oh my God, I should have closed it up here. Why am I still in the position? But then you start to get the green ticks. And so on every uptick, on every bit of the market going up, you start to feel, okay, this is it. The market's turning around now. I'm just going to get out of the trade at break even. But then the market falls down again. And you start to feel, oh my, why am I still in this position? I should have been out of it an hour ago. Why did I not place a stop loss? Why did I not stick to the plan? Market upticks again. And you think, oh, thank God I can finally hopefully get out of this position at break even. Just get me back up to entry and I'll get out the trade at break even. Price goes down again. And you're just left in the spiral of, why did I not just close the trade when price went below my entry? You know, my invalidation. Why did I not get out here? Instead of thinking, oh, it's a swing failure pattern. 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 And then you find yourself massively underwater. Well, the answer, the real answer is, obviously, they basically have not accepted the risk in the trade. So if you've entered the trade under the acknowledgement of, I have got my invalidation here, I know that I'm wrong here, you got to get out of the trade when that happens. And if you start to fall in the, you know, the trap of, oh, it's a swing failure pattern, it's a swing failure pattern, or X, Y, and Z reasons to hold on to it, and every uptick you start to feel that, oh, finally I can get out at break even. But what's actually happening here is you're basically, this is the result, by the way. This was the first section here, and look how it ended. And as we all know, we actually went down even lower than this. We went down even lower. But you can see how you could have been blinded by holding the long, which is crazy. Like, oh, it's a swing fight, and holding it. And this is the result. You would have been maybe liquidated, blowing up the accounts because of your unwillingness to close the position when you should have. And you could have actually even taken the short. Okay, what did you have here? You had the move up into resistance. You have a market structure change. This is a short all day long. Like that has to be a short position. This is the result, literally today on Bitcoin. If one had simply read correctly the market structure change that we had there with our lower highs and lower lows, you should have at least closed that long, or better yet, enter a short position. Because this has been a clear market structure change. There's no reason to hold on to it. You're literally up at the high of the range. And, you know, people will get into this position where they've literally held into a long, formed a high all the way down. That was over 12% to the downside. You know, that's going to hurt. A little bit of a nice one, but this was obviously the trade that I took today off of that.